Hello, my Married at First Sight family and fellow YouTube viewers. How are you all today? Hi. I am excellent. Everything is going great. Well, okay. Look, I haven't made a video for the last episode because my Surface Duo that I normally do my recordings on, it died on me after a year. Love the phone, but it died on me. So anyway, I had the protection on it. Got a new phone. It did work. For whatever reason, they can't connect it. So anyway, I'm waiting on my new phone. So hopefully I'll hear the truck coming to bring up my new phone. So I can go get it set up. So anyway, I'm out here in my backyard chilling. I got my plugs on because if I did not have them on, you all would think that there's a jungle out here. I'm out in the country. So if I scream, it's probably because the little chipmunk, I don't know if he's Chip or Dale, but one of them like to pass through here, and he'll watch to make sure I'm not going to mess with him, and I'm watching to make sure he doesn't mess with me. And so if one of us screams, that's probably what it is Chip or Dale, whichever one it is going home. So all the same, let's talk about what's been going on with marriage and family. In case you haven't seen any of my other videos, I'm going to preface this one by saying I've been married for 19 years. So sometimes I don't go into all the details of what happened. I might just do an overview of what in the happened and probably why. Because not only am I basing it on my 19 plus years of marriage, but my friends, my mom and dad were married 47 years. My grandma and her husband, they were married for 49 years. And family and friends, I mean, most of the people that I grew up around in my neighborhood were married. Their parents were married. So that's just the way it was. That we were old school. Now, another thing that I do want to say is that all of these people on this show are beautiful people. Look like they're the nicest people you probably meet. They appear to be educated and decent people. And I always wonder why this would work. That's why I like watching the show. I had stopped watching for a while because I just couldn't understand some of the things that the doctors were doing. Some of the people that they were pairing them with, I thought they should have paired people with different people. Like, for instance, Bao. She said she wanted somebody who worked at Nassau. Specifically, she said this. And it just so happens that Jose works there. Merla would have wanted somebody probably with Jose's money, but really when it comes down to love, that's not really the determining factor. So I'm sure that's probably what they're looking at. But sometimes it helps people get along better if they get what they want. Now, and I said that about the glory of them being all beautiful, educated, look like clean cut people with really good jobs, because I grew up around people. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama, but I was raised in Selma. And the people that I know and grew up around, these people grew up in the 60s. And, they had hard times. These people picked cotton. These people had outhouses. These people, they did a lot of things for a person my age who is able to enjoy the pleasures that they didn't always get. And these people on these shows are getting to get these benefits. So they have good education. They have good, beautiful homes to live in. They have really nice lives. So if the people that I knew were able to make it and stay married for years into death or close to death, because everybody don't die at the same time, but if they were able to live through all of the stuff that they went through, outhouses, growing crops, making quilts. I'm near the G's Ben's quilting ladies. Still they live in kind of like impoverished in comparison to these people. So my question always is why can't these people make it? You want to think that people with an education, with some of the better accommodations in life, should be able to make it, but we're seeing that that's not necessarily the case, and perhaps that's why the doctors put them with people, maybe not what they necessarily ask for as far as physical aesthetics and monetary value. it helps. It helps if you had that. I'm not saying these people that I knew all had happy marriages. I'm just saying they were willing to stick it out. And a good piece of advice that my step-grandmother told me, which I didn't say, but my mom's dad, he and his wife were married for so many years. I mean, until she died. And so my dad's mom and dad, they were both dead before I was born. So I don't know their situation. But I know they weren't married. Now, they weren't. But what I'm saying is this step-grandmother of mine, she told my sisters and I that one of the reasons that women stayed with men at that time was because they needed, if he was a good provider, then he was worth keeping regardless of what he did. So, and we all know that because people still want to pull that card of my grandmother, she stayed with my granddad regardless of what he did. But she taught us as women that we don't have to take it. And your granddaddies should have taught the men, don't do it, because we're not going to keep taking it. So anyway, so let me go on into the it of it all. Alright, normally I don't think I start with Hurricane K, Michaela, and Zach. But I'm going to start with them today because they remind me of that couple, the black couple on the very first episode. I don't remember their names. But Lord, they didn't get along after they had sex that very first night. And I think there's something in saying if you wait. Because it seems like, for what I've seen, the people who wait may last long, even though, people may say the ratio of people who stay in divorce, the divorce ones outweigh that. But I still think you should wait, because otherwise it's a one-night stand. It's still a one-night stand. Even though you get to see this person, it's almost a one-night stand. So, I was looking at this last episode. Listen to Zach, because I've been wondering, why is it that Michaela is getting upset? Now, one thing I was thinking, she's probably getting upset. Seems like she got mad because he got COVID. And I was like, well, COVID doesn't have any... He didn't purposefully get COVID. So, whatever it was that was going on in her head that make her have that little hissy fit that we saw on camera when she didn't pay attention that everybody could see her. But then I listened to what he said this time about how, in comparison to what he's been saying all along, how he had agreed, he was testing her, and he had told her that they were going to watch a movie on his Apple TV. And then he was going to go home and get his system and come back and watch TV with her. And then he got home and decided he was tired and he wasn't going to go back. This was the test. And I'm thinking, like, okay, what did he have to go get? Because Apple TV, all you have to do is put your codes in. I had Apple TV, and the only reason I don't have it now is because I didn't ever watch it. And so I was like, what's the point of keeping it and having to pay for it and I'm not watching? So I canceled that. I probably need to put a stop on Hulu and Netflix because of the fact that I watch more YouTube than I watch them. I mean, I'm watching you all, my fellow YouTube reviewers, because like I said, if I had known you all out there before, I would have been out. But what I'm seeing is he's the type of guy that he wants to spoon feed you it. And he just wants you to say, I love it, it tastes so good. And he keeps doing stuff. And, because that makes sense to me, like I said. He didn't have to go get anything except his codes to set up that TV. He can put his codes in. You download the app, you put your codes in. And it's probably still on my iPad. I just canceled it on my regular TV. I didn't finish setting it up. That's what I'm saying. And so he called her and told her, well, I'm going to stay here and go to sleep. Well, you notice he keeps doing that. Oh, he was going to go and put the dog to sleep. Oh, but he fell asleep putting the dog to sleep. Oh, he went to take the dog to daycare, but he didn't call or text to let her know where he was. I mean, he just has so many things he has to do that he puts in front of his wife. And he wants her to always understand and say, okay, baby, that's fine. And whether he's unique, he's not. Is he every man? Just like Shaka Khan wrote about every woman, he's every man. He is just full of it. And he wants her to eat it and just say, I love you, baby, and that's good. Give me some more. So, I don't think she's going to take it. And then when he was saying that he's scared because that's her personality of being angry, the angry black woman, and that her sisters call her Hurricane K. And that's, she could very well be. Because you know what? I have sisters. I have brothers. And they can get on your nerves. I love them to death, but they can get on your every nerve. And so, but I don't treat my husband like I treat my sisters and my brothers. I don't. If he treats me right and everything's going well, then it goes well. And I don't complain. And I don't become a hurricane or a tornado. But I'm going to tell you something. When we first got married, Lord Jesus, child, I told y'all I'm in the country and I see a caterpillar. And I know they become beautiful butterflies, but I'm about to scream. But he is not coming near me. He might be entertained. So we're just going to sit here and chill for a moment unless he scoots on down here to where I am. So anyway, when I first got married, my husband and I dated for 2 years. And he was the easiest person to date. And something happened in between the dating and getting married, and I promise you, I felt like I became the main character in The Exorcist. I had to check myself to make sure I hadn't started, like check my neck. I can't rotate all the way around. I was like, I thought my head was going to start spinning off and pop off. I felt like I was fussing so much about everything. Because it seemed like for everything that he did when we were dating, he did the opposite when we got married. And I'm not saying that to say anything bad about my husband, because of the fact that maybe I was doing something different between that time that caused him to react that way. And we talk about things sometimes, but we go back and sometimes we reflect and sometimes we say, oh, well, let's just bypass that. But I said that to say that my patience is better with my husband than it is with my siblings. I treat them totally different. My sister and brothers, oh man. Now, and I'm going to tell you though, some of the tactics I do still use on my husband. My sister and brothers, I know how to ignore them. And I'm not going to tell you that in 19 years I've learned how to ignore my husband and he has learned how to ignore me also. Because sometimes folks say stuff, it just comes out, just like on The Exorcist. It just pops out without control. And you got green goo and stuff all over the place. But it's just your words. And so we've learned sometimes you have to ignore what the other person says. Sometimes you just have to act like you didn't hear them. So I think Zach is taking his test too far. And I think Zach is very inconsiderate of her and all the women he's dated. He's not inconsiderate to his guy friend. One, because guys don't care about a lot of that stuff. And two, he never does that stuff to a guy where he just stands a guy up and say, oh, this happened and da-da-da-da-da. A guy don't care anyway, because unless they screwing each other, they don't care. So, all right. I'm just checking my surroundings. I'm in the country, I told y'all. But I mean, this is my backyard. I'm just saying. Stuff crawl. My neighbors have a dog. He like to come over and bark and stuff. Usually most people don't come back here though. I mean, I'm just on a deck in my backyard, but I'm just saying, a lot of times it's pretty quiet. So anyway, that's all I really have to say about that, is that Zach is really inconsiderate. And he's not going to be the first man that's been inconsiderate or the last. I mean, I'm not going to go into the analogies or comparisons of him and Adam. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to move on to Ryan and Brett. I think usually I take them at the end because they just don't really do a whole lot of anything. But, he just made her feel so bad, and she already knows ain't no need in her continuing to try to do anything magnificent, do any tricks or anything to try to get him, because he's already tuned out. He went and took a break, and I'd be doggone if my husband got a place somewhere where he can go take a break beside of his mama house or friend's house. Oh, he better not have his own private place. I know these people just got married at first sight, but dang, you're supposed to come home to your spouse every night. But they're not planning to stay married, so that's disrespectful. In fact, him and Johnny doing that to their wives is just as disrespectful as Jose locking Rachel outside of the home. They talked about him doing that, but that is just as disrespectful if you're a person's husband. Period. I don't need to give any more explanation. We are all adults and you all understand exactly what I'm saying. Hey, baby. That's one of my little babies coming to see why I'm out here talking to myself. She understands they the one got me signed up to do YouTube anyway, so I set them up a channel, Superstar Sisters, and so they understand. But there's not much more that I can say about those two. Who else? I've done 2 and they're 5. Mirla and Gil. Now I think they're gonna last. I think if they want to, they can last. Now, when they talked about the finances, she found out that he wasn't saving as much as she, but she didn't dismiss him. When they were talking about the kiss and he was saying that he was going to divorce her if he didn't get a kiss during this 2-month time frame, she said, no, you're supposed to say we're going to stay married, saying to him, I want to stay married to you. And he kept saying, no, I'm not. And she's like, no, I'm saying to you, I want to be married. I want to stay married. We're agreeing to stay married. So, she went on and gave him a kiss. And I'm glad she did, because if that was his breaking point, I would prefer that she go on and give him the kiss. Now, I personally think she should have given him a kiss earlier, but I'm not the one to judge. I'm not going to tell this grown woman what her experience was and why she needs to wait. But she did it because she wants to preserve her marriage. She knows he makes less money than she does, but she's still willing to be with him. So that means that she has some concern and care about him as a husband, not just as her brunch husband. And I think he really likes her. I like the way that they joke around with each other, and I don't take any offense to it. I don't think she should take any offense to it. In fact, I just think some people, that's the way they show love, and it's just not offensive. Nothing about it offends me at all. I'm kind of like, the way I see it is as she's kind of laughing at it, and she's tickled with it, and as she said, he was calling her diva, that she likes that. And so she likes it. I love it. I don't take any offense, and I'm glad that she doesn't. And I just think that if they continue, their relationship will blossom, and it's going to be everything that they want. Except, Gil, you really don't want 8 children. And I'm going to tell you something to think about, so it may redirect your thoughts on this. How many times, if you have 8 children, you're going to have to hear them say the alphabet, each one of them. How many times before they get it? You're going to have to hear them count to 100. How many times before they learn it? You're going to have to hear each and every one of them. You got to teach them how to tell time. You can't just leave them there for Mirla to hear it. You want 8 children, you got to be willing to participate in hearing, teaching, raising 8 individual personalities. And some of those personalities, as wonderful as you and Mirla are, they're going to get jealous of the other child. It's going to always be at least one that's going to be jealous that you love the other children, and they're going to want you to say that they're the best, they're the smartest, they're the 100%ers, they're the golden child. And if you have 8 children, you can't clock out on not one, not 99%. You got to try to give them that 100% every day. And somebody's going to always feel like they lacked it. Somebody's going to always become complacent and not care if you give them attention or not. And some of them, you never know what situations might bring health issues that you might have to give one more attention than the other one. Learning deficiencies, you may have to give one more attention. And so then that leaves the other ones up to, jealousy. You have to, I know people don't want to consider that, but outside of being able to raise that many children, you have to be willing to give all of them your undivided attention, and it's very difficult. Trust me, the Lord, our God, above has a lot of people who don't want to praise him because they're jealous because he's not letting them float around on a cloud because they think they're so special. So I'm just saying to you, you may want to reconsider having those 8 children. Johnny and Bow. Johnny and Bow sitting in a tree. KISSING. Now they're doing soft porn on TV. You know, I keep saying in my videos, I love it when they're doing well, but I do not want you all to keep those cameras in the rooms when they're trying to get it on. Johnny's trying to put his moves, and Bow laughs, and he's thinking she's being immature, but she just doesn't want her mom to see her doing soft porn on TV. I mean, can y'all help her, give her family some respect, please? Moms don't want to see that. I tell my girls right now, I said, look, I didn't let my parents see me kiss my husband or any guy until I got married. That's when they know I kissed a guy. Now, they may think I've kissed guys before. They don't have any proof. Only time they have proof is when I got married. And I tell my girls, look, I don't want to see y'all kiss until you get married. Y'all know they're married and all of that good stuff right now. I don't want to see them kissing. I don't want to see them in the bed. I don't want to see them kissing each other's bellies. Nothing on the cheek, on the cheek, maybe on the forehead, maybe, but around the neck and all that stuff, nope. Too much for me. Got 2 children. I know what happens. I don't need any demos. So, could you let Bow get some privacy? Johnny may not care, but can you let Bow get some privacy? So, for her mom's sake, Probably for Johnny's mom's sake, too, because Asian people, to my understanding from my Asian friends, they're very private and they don't like showing a whole lot of affection, which is probably what Johnny's saying that he wants it, because they typically don't, from my understanding from the friends that I have. Yet, you all keep trying to make them ultra-Americanized. They didn't sign on for that, I don't think. But guys don't care. But girls, we do. Could y'all give us some respect and take the cameras out when they're trying to do their thing? Okay, so we've gone to 3. 1, 2, 3. I made it through 4. So I'm at the last couple. Jose and Rachel. I almost said Rose because I like when Bow said that. Yeah. Well, Rachel's not surprised at Jose being Jose. She's not surprised. She already knows that's how Hispanic men are. And I got that from my Hispanic friends. They all tell me how controlling the men are. I did taxes for H&R Block when I was living in New York, New Jersey area. I was actually in New Jersey at the time. I did them in Hoboken, and I did them in Union City. And I had another job, a good job, but I learned how to do them on the side because I needed to, because my sister told me I didn't know what I was doing when I was telling her that I was doing my taxes and filing myself as head of household. So anyway, it's like, you need to take a class. Go check out your H&R Block and take a class. So if you all want to do it, you can too. So anyway, I went and took the class. And I'm just saying this here because I was in a predominantly Hispanic community. And so I had to do some taxes. And there were some people who, this one guy in particular, I remember his family. He made $16,000 a year. And his wife stayed at home, and they had a child, at least one at that time. And I was like, I didn't say anything. But in my mind, I'm thinking, how are they living off $16,000 a year? But he was proud man, proud that he was able to take care of his family, and his wife didn't have to go out and work. Which is basically what Jose is doing and saying. That's what he dreamed of. Now, of course, Rachel dad told her, just like all of our parents as women, like I just said, my great grandmother said, my step grandmother, women are able to get an education. We're able to take care of ourselves better. So they tell us not necessarily to try to depend on a man. Yet and still, you want to get a man that can take care of you. When men hear you talking about you want a man with a job, because it's like you want to make sure you can take care of yourself, because you ain't trying to take care of him. Now, they got in the argument because she called out Johnny's name, so we found out. I'm like, I don't know why he got mad at that. Now, at first I was like, I would get mad, but then I was like, well, no, not if I had been married at first sight and it hasn't even been 2 months that we've known each other. Then you find out it's Johnny. It's like, oh, well, they probably talk about Johnny. They know Johnny. So why would he get mad about that? So mad that he's cussing her out and locking her out and stuff. Well, he did it. What you gonna do? Like I said earlier, I was fussing, but I wasn't cussing because I'm not a cusser. But I was fussing at my husband so much until I thought my head was spinning around and it was just going to spew out stuff. And till one day I just said, stop it, girl. He's a grown man. He knows how to treat you. If he don't know how to treat you, either stay or leave. You got to make that decision. And so everybody has to make that decision. You're going to have those moments. Like one time I was fussing at my husband, and I said, da 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 da, and all that stuff. And I said, and I know in your mind you cussing me out and you calling me all kinds of B's and H's and all. That's how I said it, because I don't cuss, right? And, I'm thinking we're going to be fussing. He got up and started laughing at me. And I have to tell you, when we talk about that, we ended up laughing more so than fussing, just because I said, I know you calling me all kinds of B's and H's. And so I just say that to say, all that fussing I did, 19 and a half, well, plus, like I said, we got married right around the time this show started. So our anniversary was July 27th, and so we went on a honeymoon when the first episode came on, so I didn't even really do a comment. It started the week before, the week after we were on a honeymoon, I didn't make any comments. So anyway, I'm just saying, that's a little thing that can be gotten over. It's not a big deal. It's a big deal now, and it seems like a big deal. But the bigger deal to me was that Rachel came back out with a list of all the reasons why they wouldn't get along and she didn't want to be married. And I'm like, wait a minute. All this time, everybody's been seeing what's going on, and you haven't said anything. But now you want to say he's controlling. Well, we all, look at that word slipped out. We all knew that. Which man? There's not one man on this show that's not. And I'm going to tell you, these guys are running circles around you. The reason why is because they know that they can have babies at any time, long as they stay healthy. But women, we have a set amount of time. So they can run all kinds of game and end up with somebody else, younger, whatever, dot. Check the box. So he is controlling. He has everything under control and decided, girl, I still will stick with Jose. I don't know what you're going to do, but I will stick it out. And with all that, I'm trying not to make this a 2. I'm going to try to end it right here, because I done said everything I need to say. Bye.